I've yet to find someone our age that hasn't been misdiagnosed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, because it's just not in the forefront of physicians' minds. So I'm hoping to do, when COVID stops and we can do conferences again, I'm hoping to do a presentation to general practitioners in Australia about my story and how it works. But that's later.
I appreciate all your work on that, because you know, you and I have talked about your work and your passion as far as trying to get that out there, and I appreciate it because you know it means a lot probably coming from you. It means more coming from you because you're a colleague than it does
Yes.
coming from a patient. And sometimes I think that
Yeah.
it takes that shift.
Yeah. There's that impact factor. You know, it's like, hey, that could be me, like literally, not just like it's a patient. Yeah.
I'm an engineer, or I was before I got sick. And when I get well again, I'll go back to practicing. And there are a lot of guys that work with me that have called me and told me, hey, you know, I've gotten checked. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think when it hits home to someone that works with you or someone that is your colleague versus, you know, someone that you see on TV, it's different.
Totally.
And when it
Totally
hits your
true.
family
Yeah.
member, it's different.
Yep.
And so
Absolutely.
I hate to say it, but I want, you know, I want more people to be more involved, but I hate to say it. It's only until it gets and it impacts you somewhere personally or in your personal life that you actually are passionate about it or vigilant about it. But, you know, these screens,
Absolutely.
you know, I hope everyone has a negative one, but I think that more people need to get screened.
Absolutely. And so that's part of the reason I went public as well, similar to yourself, is that I felt really hesitant about doing it. I'm like, oh, what does anyone care? But also like, you know, this is private, this is for me. But then I thought, you know, actually, like I'm going to make my Instagram, which is how we met. And I wouldn't be doing this today if I hadn't gone public, because
And I appreciate it.
it takes a bit of courage to step over that line. But also I thought about, like, I know so many doctors, if they hear my story, they'll think about it, and that, like, if they save one person to go through what I go through because they get a colonoscopy 2 years earlier, then that's fantastic. That's the goal. So that's why I made it public. Really, is about other people.
And I
Because, you
appreciate
know,
it, man. And it's awesome. You know, that was the same thing. I had a friend that died in August. And if he
mhm,
hadn't gone public, I wouldn't have been as vigilant about a colonoscopy because he said he had to demand one. I didn't have to
exactly.
demand one. I just had to ask for it. But he said they
Yep.
told him no constantly.
Yep. Wow.
And
And see, that's that negative experience again, where you go to the doctor over and over again and they don't listen to you. Yeah.
but if he hadn't made that
Yeah.
story public, I probably wouldn't have been as public with mine because, you know, it's a vulnerability and that
Mm,
most people don't like to admit their vulnerabilities, and you don't want to
mm,
admit your downfalls. And so right now you and I are both vulnerable. I think we're vulnerable at a really good time because the whole
yep.
country's vulnerable. I mean, this
Yeah.
COVID
Yeah.
stuff has everyone behaving like a cancer
Yeah.
patient.
Yeah. It's great for me. I'm not worried about getting sick when I go out because everyone's wearing face masks and washing their
Right.
hands. It's fantastic.
And so,
Couldn't be better.
but to
Yeah.
be on that other end of the spectrum when everybody's not so careful and you can't go out, you can't do
Yeah.
anything right now. You know, most places were closed, so everybody's experiencing what I would have been experiencing. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's good that the world is going through it. I'm not saying it's good that you and I are going through it, but it is maybe a little easier than it was on people that were going through chemotherapy and there wasn't a plague. It's pretty much a plague. It's the plague that's not
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, the world stopped for me in November and it stopped for everyone else in February. So
Yeah.